Hi, I'm 13 News Now meteorologist Craig Moeller with an update on Tropical Storm Elsa. We just got the 8 o'clock information in. Still maximum sustained winds at 65. That's been the case since the 5 a.m. update. Prior to that, at 2 o'clock, that update had 70-mile-per-hour winds. So it's maintained its strength this morning, down a little bit from our overnight. As you can see, it is getting closer to that next landfall along the Florida Gulf Coast here, and we're going to take a closer look at that. Movement is north at 14 miles per hour. Here's the center tracking just passing Tampa and now moving up closer to Cedar Key. It is still west of Cedar Key, but getting closer, and it's actually getting ready to make a landfall not far from Horseshoe Beach. So you can see Horseshoe Beach right here. Again, the center of the circulation coming up into the picture right here, and it's going to continue to move off to the north and then eventually make a turn to the northeast, bringing that center of circulation pretty close to Hampton Roads. So again, we're looking at a system that's going to have quite a bit of time over land. Once it moves from the water to the land, it's going to weaken, obviously losing that energy source. So it is forecast to deteriorate a little bit as we go through the afternoon tomorrow. Center expected to be somewhere to the south and southwest of Raleigh. Maximum winds at that point about 40 miles per hour. It passes by our area late Thursday and Thursday evening. By early Friday, it starts to reemerge back out over the water just off to the east of Delaware or Maryland, right in this general area. Once it gets back over water, it may intensify a little bit, but again, it'll be past Hampton Roads at that time. So we'll start to see our improvements late Thursday night and early Friday, and then it continues to race off to the northeast. Let's take a look at the watches and warnings that are up. You can see they had a hurricane warning for the Gulf Coast there, parts of Florida. Then the hurricane or the tropical storm warning from the northern parts of Florida across coastal Georgia and South Carolina, and then a tropical storm watch. Now, early this morning, that watch extended up through Dare County, but around 5:30 this morning, they went ahead and extended it all the way up through Hampton Roads and up to the eastern shore. So that's now in place, meaning tropical storm force winds are possible within the 48 hours. So this is what we're looking at. It does include the eastern shore, parts of the peninsula, including Hampton and back over towards York. So we're looking at these areas, and then you come south side. You get into Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, Suffolk, and northeastern and eastern North Carolina. So those are the areas under the tropical storm watch. Now, as far as the winds go around here, generally we're looking at sustained winds, probably up in excess of 30 miles per hour. Higher gusts will be possible. We could see some gusts up around 40 or so. Certainly around the Outer Banks, we're going to be watching that. The strongest winds are going to be on the right side of the path. Again, it will weaken over land, but still some potentially stronger wind gusts we're going to be watching. And then I think maybe another threat that may be a little more prominent, the risk of isolated spin-up tornadoes. Now, these are not supercell tornadoes. Typically, you just get these little tornadoes that will spin up off of cells that are moving along. There's a lot of energy, and that energy spinning around the center, and just off to the right of that, sometimes we do get these spin-up tornadoes, something we will be monitoring very closely through the day Thursday, especially afternoon and into the evening. Rainfall amounts generally 1 to 3 inches. Some areas a little bit less. Potentially, there could be a little bit more in spots. So minor to moderate issues with rainfall. Wind gusts, as I mentioned, up around 40, maybe a little bit more than that, but generally minor concerns with the winds. Tidal flooding, very low risk of any inundation. They're not worried too much about that. But I do want to mention for Sandbridge along Back Bay and the Sounds, we could have some issues with the wind-driven water in the Sounds and then up through Back Bay. Could deal with a little bit of minor tidal flooding, and then that risk of tornadoes, again, isolated on the right side of the track. That's where Hampton Roads is. Want to show you a couple of rainfall projections. This is from the European model. You'll notice the heavier rain closer to the center of Elsa as it tracks by off to our north and west. So in this case, Norfolk picking up half an inch to an inch or so, about the same in Virginia Beach. Lighter amounts down farther to the south, with heavier amounts out around Emporia, Wakefield, and back towards Richmond, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Some more back out in the Piedmonts of Virginia and North Carolina. That's, again, the European model. Take a look at the GFS model. Different look here. Here we have slightly heavier amounts confined closer to the coast with lighter amounts inland. So two models, again, both agree that it's going to track through the area. One has a focus of heavier rain farther west, one farther east. Bottom line, 1 to 3 inches of rain, certainly a possibility with this system as it comes through. We will keep an eye to it. Now, I want to remind you today, while it's hot, it's going to be mostly sunny, so today's the day to go around. Maybe you've got some loose items out in your yard. This would be a great time to just make sure things are kind of secured out there. We're not anticipating a lot of wind with Elsa, but it doesn't take a lot of wind to maybe take some of the kids' toys and blow them into your fence or something like that. So just go around, make sure your yard's in order. If there's any low-hanging branches, anything that might, rattle up against the side of the house, you might want to take action, maybe cut down those loose branches around or pull them down. Just secure the yard. In general, today's your day to do it, but it's going to be a hot one. Highs today in the mid-90s. Tomorrow, upper 80s. Again, we'll be watching that rain to develop with potential isolated storms. This will be the impacts with Elsa as it comes through. Friday, generally partly sunny. A few stray storms possible. They'll be isolated. I think most of the rain from Elsa out before sunrise, but there could be a stray shower or storm a little bit later in the day. Saturday, just a low risk of a storm. Otherwise partly sunny. Looking pretty good for Sunday, but a slightly better chance. A few isolated storms Sunday into Monday. Hopefully a little drier for you on Tuesday. All right, that's the latest on Elsa. Stay tuned to 13 News Now. Throughout the day, we'll be on air, and you can always find us on YouTube, on Facebook, all of our digital platforms as well. Stay weather aware as we deal with Elsa.